Now, in the past, there was a conversation that gaming needs to mature, that gamers are sexist, misogynistic, racist. But there is hope. The corporations can change by changing the content that they do, by stopping to normalize the horrible pictures that we see in video games. Then the community can improve. And of course, with the guidance and the help of the Trust and Safety Councils on social media, by banning those who refuse to step into the light and to embrace the new progressive values of BlackRock, we can actually create a wonderful community. So if you guys have listened to various marketing teams from Disney, from other corporations, you would notice that they usually shame the fans. Like, the fans are the problem. The customer is the problem. The customer is the necessary evil in order for the business to exist, to suck money from BlackRock. And I wanted to see, like, how is the modern customer like? You know, what is like this new open-minded individual, this progressive new man? The Soviets used to call it the new Soviet man. So let's see how they're like. Well, apparently, Eero Daishin, which is an artist, is going to tell us exactly how they are like. Now, I could go on and find various examples with what he says, but I don't think I need to. You can tell he's not full of shit, given the fact that there are 226,000 views on his post and 7,158 likes. When you have that many people on your side for saying something like this, chances are they're true. And trust my word for it as well, because I have seen it unfold in real time. Don't even need to mention that wizard game in order for you guys to know how toxic some people are on the internet. But now we're not talking about people on the internet in general. We're talking about the people who like the Spider-Verse. They have harassed multiple artists for drawing Miles wrong. Yes, because apparently skin color doesn't matter is what they tell to themselves when they go to sleep. It's like anyone that criticizes the skin color is a racist, except themselves. Like, the hypocrisy. Like, you cannot be woke on the internet if you're not a hypocrite. Like, it's impossible. Again, remember my viral post when I went and said, yeah, I wish that women would have big boobs in video games. And I had people attacking me for it, calling me a pervert, calling me a sicko, calling me disgusting, calling me an incel. And when I went on their timeline, it was like an altar dedicated to human sexuality, with furry diaper fetish and vor and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, I'm not the one criticizing them for that shit, but why do they feel the need to criticize me for saying something that I don't even believe is very controversial? Yeah, I like beautiful female characters in video game. Cope and seethe. I don't know what else to tell you, but again, the hypocrisy is there. They're allowed to enjoy the things they want. They're allowed to be proud of the things they want. And if you try to do yours, they will attack you. This is literally colonization, right? Like, they take a character, at least in the case of Miles Morales, it doesn't really apply because it's a new character. But they will take a character like Ariel, right? And they will say, well, okay, she's black now. And if you complain you're a racist because best actress for the job and whatnot, fine. But if you draw her white, and we saw that, the artist gets harassed. Like, massive harassment because the artist has drawn her differently, right? Blackmail artists for drawing gender-bent Miles wrong. This has happened. Harasses people for liking Penny. Throws around accusations. Wants artists to work in hellish conditions for the next movie because the more woke a company is, as we discussed, the more likely it is to have human rights abuses. I don't know why that is. It's very interesting. It's like when Disney was filming Mulan. Oh, very progressive. Championing feminism while filming in China, in a place where the Uyghurs were being oppressed, and then thanking the Chinese government in the credits. Like, what can be more beautiful than that? What can be more progress? How can we progress even further from that? How can we be more woke? The Last of Us, right? Naughty Dog Studio. Highest turnover in the industry. People found the work environment to be toxic. Blizzard Entertainment, need I say more? The breast milk. Yeah, you know, this ideology that's supposed to make the better human, that's supposed to create the better fandom, has some of the worst fandoms out there. Like, shocking and surprising. Who would have thought? If you're pandering to narcissists, if you're pandering to an ideology which states you cannot identify with the character on screen unless it has your gender and your skin color, yeah, it turns out that it makes some of the worst fandom imaginable, that type of mentality. It's like, oh, look, Arya Stark is seeing her father decapitated. Well, I can't empathize with that because she doesn't represent me. You know, like, she's a woman, she has different lived experiences. I can't possibly imagine how that's like the ideology that they're pressing on people. And, of course, I would also add to this list the fact that they are now attacking this artist for pointing it out. Like, you're not allowed to point it out, right? Like, you're not allowed to make fun of them. I experienced that myself by being banned from Twitter because I made fun of these people and pointed out their hypocrisy. That is a war on noticing. Like, you're not allowed to notice. You will observe the fact that the journalists rarely talk about this. Like, when the people are being toxic as hell, a word that the journalists coined, by the way, and they're harassing VTubers for playing that wizard game, the journalists will either downplay it, say that it's not as bad as people make it out to be, or they're just going to try to ignore the problem altogether, or they will say that it doesn't exist, it's just in your head, even though you see the video evidence on it appear on the image board. So the only way you can talk about it is like if you go out on Twitter and you point it out, and then people attack you for it, for pointing it out. It's interesting. It's absolutely fascinating. This is the type of culture and fandoms that corporations like. Alright, so when a company lectures you about morality and tells you what you need to do in order not to be a racist or a sexist, this is the type of people that they cater to. This is the type of people that they enjoy. The ones that are harassing VTubers over the wizard game, the ones that are harassing artists on Twitter. This is the perfect customer for Disney. And for Marvel. And for DC. Interesting how manga, which is supposed to be racist and sexist, doesn't foster this type of community. Interesting how Star Wars didn't used to foster this type of community. It is what it is, and honestly, I do think more people need to call it out. I do think, because if they hate having their hypocrisy pointed out to them to this level, to this degree, I think more of it should happen. Even if like nothing changes, the very fact that they're being antagonized by having their hypocrisy being revealed to them in a way that doesn't violate the terms of service and in a way that is still, you know, politically correct to do, you should do it. Just be very polite about it. Be extremely polite and show them it's like, yeah, you criticize me, but look what you're into. Oh, you don't like the fact that I like white Ariel, but like, look what you're doing to this artist that drew her differently. Why did you stand up for that? Why are you okay with that? And they hate it. They absolutely despise it when you do it. It is what it is, you know, like, I'm not going to live by their standards, but by God, I'm going to try to enforce their standards upon them, because they believe in the ideology, you know, like I don't, but they do, and they lecture me based on their ideology, so at least I expect that they would live up to what they are preaching. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think, and more power to this artist. If you're an artist on Twitter, don't allow yourself to be intimidated. These people do not speak for the overwhelming majority of the population. Just you can absolutely dismiss them. Go through their timeline. It's very easy to point out their hypocrisy, right? Most of them are very outspoken about the things that they believe in, and more often than not, the things that they do are contradictory to the things that they believe. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.